So we just learned the famous statement of Rabbi Chananya ben Akashia. Right, I'll read it to you again. Rabbi Chananya ben Akashia Omer, Ratzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu Zakot Israel. Hashem wants to give Jews merit. Lefikach irba lahem Torah mitzvot. That's why He increased the amount of mitzvot. Shneimar, Hashem chafetz leman tzedko yagdil Torah v'yadir. Hashem wants you to earn schar, and therefore He gave us a lot of mitzvot. And this fits into the Mishnah that says that Hashem gives us reward even for something that we don't have Yetzer Hara, like dam, eating blood. Rashi says, nevilot, treifot. Rambam says differently. Rambam says that really this Mishnah is telling us a foundational principle of our Torah. He says like this, Mikrei ha'emunah b'Torah, that one of the foundational principles of our Torah is if a person does one mitzvah kiraui v'kehoken, properly, in the perfect way. Now, what does it mean? The definition of doing mitzvah properly in a perfect way. And he explains, Shelo yishatef ima kavana b'chavanot ha'olam. He does not connect kavana, a intention that's not pure when he does the mitzvah. El yaseh ota lishma, but he's going to do the mitzvah lishma, for Hashem, me'ahava.
Not for reward.
Not for reward. But he's doing it for love, because of Hashem. With that one mitzvah, he already earned Olam Haba. So, one solitary mitzvah in your lifespan.
This is whose opinion? Rambam's?
This is Rambam. That's what Rabbi Chananya ben Akashia said. כי המצוות בהיותם הרבה, אי אפשר שלא יעשה אותם אדם בחייו אחת מהם על מתכונתה ושלמותה. Now that God gave us so many mitzvot, it's impossible not to do at least one mitzvah properly. And that's what it means. That Hashem wants you to earn a reward, and that's why He gave you so many. Yagdil Torah v'yadir. He gave so many mitzvot.
What does v'yadir mean? And He made it strong.
It made it strong, yes.
Meaning what?
It says here in the Mefarshim, Lakach higdil chelek Torah v'chizek otam levnei Israel b'tzivui achar tzivui כדי שיעדרו ויתחזקו תפי לשמרן מאוד. So he repeated it. Yadir means he enforced it. He enforced it. He repeated it, he enforced it. Yadir means he drilled into us the importance of doing mitzvah. He attached some consequences, punishments if we don't do it. So all of that is called yadir, strength. A lot of mitzvah and quantity, and also the strength. Hashem made it more advisable for us to do it, more desirable for us to do it, because we don't want to get punishment. That's the way Rambam learns. And Rambam says, delineates in a different place, in Shmona Parokim, he says that a person could do mitzvah, not l'shem shamayim, and the many, many different variations of that and expressions of that. For example, a person could be learning because someone is going to give him something for it. In high school, we learn because Rabbi comes and says he's going to make a raffle. He is going to raffle out. I mean, in elementary school, you raffle out a car, a small little tchotchke, a small little prize. In high school, you raffle out what? Money.
Cars.
You raffle out money. Today, we have this huge raffles, right? There's a car, there's tickets to Israel, there's vacations. In Rage, for example, we give a free trip to Israel. The person comes to learn with us. And it all works. It all works. Now, there are people, for example, they learn a lot, but they want to get a degree, right? Which degree? Rabbinical degree. And they want, at the end of the day, become rabbis. Is that called lishma or not lishma?
That is not.
Also not lishma.
Even
Even though
It's better than.
it's a high level,
Right.
it's better than learning for money, but it's still not lishma, because anything that's not because of love of Hashem, because you want to be good, you want to be close to Hashem,
but why are they
is not lishma.
Why are they mutually exclusive? Why is the lishma mutually exclusive with attaining a smicha, or finishing the parak, or learning?
You're
the
only
sugya,
doing it.
or
You're not doing it because of the learning. You're doing it in order to become a rabbi, to get respect.
no, I understand, but you could be doing it for more than one
Let's
reason.
say if a person would already had a degree, a rabbi,
right?
is he going to continue learning?
Yeah, well, he should.
If
right?
he doesn't,
Ideally.
then he only learned before degree, so it was not lishma. But if he is going to continue learning,
Like everyone
means that he
sitting
also
here,
likes it.
Like
He
we're
got
not
a-
going to be rabbis,
he
right?
got a
Like,
degree. Yes, you
know,
are
like,
learning.
I came after a long day of work. I didn't have dinner yet, right?
But it's I know.
So like, I come because it's interesting. I mean, so maybe I shouldn't have that interest in it. Maybe I should do it l'shem hashemayim, right? I guess. Like,
Rabbi,
I just
Yeah.
try to.
one time in yeshiva, I was learning Lashem learning. The high school I was in, they had a program. If you learn your Megillah with the base Medrash guy in your high school, you get $75. And if you're a base Medrash guy, you don't get nothing. You get into a raffle. If you win something, you win something. It's not. 3 prizes. I wasn't supposed to go into the raffle because I was a base Medrash guy officially, and I was learning with the base Medrash guy. So I wasn't qualified for the raffle. I wasn't qualified for the high school, $75, and I was like in between high school and base Medrash, but I wasn't either. So that wasn't part of the raffle. I did it just for learning. So that year I learned it just for learning, and I'm like, whatever. I'm doing it just because I want to do it, not because I have to, because I want to. And then there was a prize. There's 3 prizes. One was a Baruch Bear. One was a Chumash
Mikrat Gadol.
Ramban or something.
Because Gadol.
And one was Shas. And I really want that Shas. I go over to one of my friends, he's younger than me, but smarter than me, and I'm like, I want that Shas so badly, but I'm not going to win. Oh, my Chavruta got me into the raffle. They gave me 3 tickets into the raffle. Because we did it, not the $75, at least we got into the raffle. I told my friend I want that prize so badly. He's like, you never know. I'm like, no, but I'm never going to win. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, past 4 years, I never won. What's going to make today any different?
Uh-huh.
It's like, dude, you're not God, you don't know. I'm like, how about this? If I win, I'm going to do a quarter of a block every day. He's like, forever? I'm like, at least for the end of the year. Couldn't wait till Rosh Hashanah, man. Basically,
Then he won.
basically, not only I won, it was a double smack in the face. One was, I won the Baruch Bear, and I was the guy who sold everything in the yeshiva. I was the guy who sold everything. The guy comes over to me, the second I won it, how much? I look at it, it's $75, and I'm like, I don't even know what it is, so I'm not selling it. If I got it for a reason. The rule in this raffle is if you win something, you can't win twice. So if I would have sold it to him, and I would have won the shots, I wouldn't be able to get it because I couldn't unsell it. So I said, no, I'm not selling it. I don't even know what it is. I got it for a reason.
Right.
I ended up winning the shots. I had to give him the Baruch Haber, and I got the shots. I was the happiest. I was so happy, and I was so like, what just happened?
Wow. Chazak Baruch.
And I had to. It was insane.
Chazak Baruch. Now Rambam also continues over there, and it says that sometimes you could learn in order to get Olam Haba. In order to get to the next world.
But Rabbi, does that give Olam Haba also? Even though I end up winning a
So
raffle?
listen to this. He calls it not lishma.
What?
It's also not Lishmo.
What's not Lishma?
Getting Olam Haba, learning for Olam Haba is not Lishmo. I understand.
It's the highest level of Shalal Lishmo,
But it's not.
but it's still not Shalal Lishmo.
Mhm.
And over here in Masechet Makot, he explains that you could only get to Olam Haba if you're learning Lishmo. So it comes out that if you're learning to get to Olam Haba, you're not going to get to Olam Haba. You're only going to get to Olam Haba if you're learning Lishmo. If you're learning because of love of Hashem, for Hashem. So Hashem is telling us,
Is this for your whole life learning, or is this for like one evening, or like one time when you sit down for an hour? Like, can you explain what that means, learning Lishmo? Meaning, for one
Every action,
sitting, or
yeah,
like through the whole
one sitting,
year, or like,
one sitting. Every action is a separate action. If you got up one day to learn for Hashem's sake, you'll learn for Hashem's sake. Okay? Okay, if we're ready to go to the next Gemara. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Cholkin alav chaveirav al Rabbi Hanania ben Gamliel. The rabbis argue on Rabbi Hanania ben Gamliel. Now, what did Rabbi Hanania ben Gamliel say? He said that someone who is chayav karet and he gets malkot, he is now absolved of karet.
correct.
But we're saying that it's only one opinion of Rabbi Hanania ben Gamliel. Rabbis don't hold of it. No, why? How do we know that? Amar Rav Ada bar Abba, Amri Bei Rav Taninan, because we learned in the house of Rav, Ein ben Shabbat liyom Kippurim, ela shezez dono b'idei Adam, v'zez dono b'karet. Shabbat and Yom Kippur are really the same. Whatever is Asur on Shabbat is Asur on Yom Kippur. They're very similar. But there is only one difference. If a person transgresses Shabbat, he gets what?
He gets smita,
Siki-
skila, I mean.
And the person who transgresses Yom Kippur, he gets karet.
Transgress means eats.
No,
Lights a fire,
malacha
works.
eats, or malacha. Malacha. We're talking right now. We're talking about malacha. So it says in the Mishnah, general rule that really Shabbat and Yom Kippur are similar. Besides for this one difference, that Shabbat you retribute, the retribution for Shabbat is bidei Adam, through the people, which means bedin, and retribution for breaking Yom Kippur is by God. Correct. If so, but one second.
There's no malkot.
But if he would get malkot for Yom Kippur, when he broke Yom Kippur, he would lose the karet.
Yes.
So if so, then comes out that you could also get punishment for Yom Kippur through people.
But you can't because there's no malkot, you said, right?
There is malkot.
For transgressing Yom Kippur, you get malkot as well.
If there is witnesses, then there is malkot,
So you
right?
get malkot. Okay.
So if it would be true, what Rabbi Hanania ben Gamliel said in our Mishnah,
Then that pasuk in the Torah is wrong. That you get karet.
that you still get karet. Torah says that you get it.
But if you get
But he
malkot,
said something else. He said
you're
it's
absolved.
bidei shamayim. The punishment is exclusively by God. Karet, punishment for Yom Kippur is exclusively by God. Karet. But if this concept is true, that if you get malkot, you lose the karet, if it's true, then it's not exclusively by God. If Bedin gave you malkot, you also lost it. So you got a punishment for Yom Kippur. Bedin gave you karet, malkot, you lost karet. So even for Yom Kippur, it's possible to pay up with the people, through Bedin. Gemara answers this.
That's the claim against Rabbi Yochanan.
Right. We're going to have now two answers. Rav Nachman, first word online is who? Rav Nachman Omer, Hamani Rabbi Yitzchak. Who is the author of this statement? Rabbi Yitzchak de Amar Malkot b'chayev ikritut leka. Rabbi Yitzchak holds that there is no Malkot for chayev ikritut. So this statement that there's no difference between Shabbat and Yom Kippur, but only that Shabbat is punishable by people, by Bedin, and Yom Kippur is punishable by Hashem, Karet, that's Rabbi Yitzchak, who said that there is no Malkot for Yom Kippur. We don't pass like that. We hold like our Mishnah that there is Malchut for Yom Kippur, but that statement was Rabbi Yitzchak. That's first answer. The Tanya, by the way, we're going to bring, right? The Tanya Rabbi Yitzchak, Omer, Chai v'kritut b'chlal hayu v'lama yatzat kritut ba'achoto. Really, all arayot are under the same category of karet. Why did Hashem in the Torah write karet with when it comes to sister? Ledono bekaret v'lo b'malkot. To teach you, it's only karet and not malkot. So for karet, there is no malkot. Anything that has karet, malkot will not be applicable. Ravash is going to give a different answer to that question.
That's rule of thumb, or is this like an opinion? Anything that has
That's an opinion.
karet? Ah, okay.
That's just in this opinion, but we say that there could be malkot for karet. We pass in the rest. Ravash says again. What was the question? Question was in our Mishnah. It says that if you got malkot, you patur from karet. But there is also a statement that the difference between Shabbat and Yom Kippur is that Shabbat gets mitat bedin, and karet, and Yom Kippur has karet. How could that be applicable? If there is a malkot for karet of Yom Kippur, then it could also be administered by people. Ravash Amer afilu teima rabbanon. This statement could be rabbanon who hold that there is malkot for karet for Yom Kippur. What that statement just means that this, which is Shabbat, the main retribution is through people, Bedin. And this, and by Yom Kippur, main retribution is through Malkut. Amar Rav Adabar Ava, Amar Rav, Halacha ki Rabbi Hanania ben Gamliel. Rav Adabar said halacha is like Rabbi Hanania ben Gamliel. So we do paskin that if someone who has to, did something that has karet, if he got malkut, is patur. Amar Rav Yosef said on Rabbi Hanania, on Rav who paskin like Rabbi Hanania ben Gamliel. Look at this line. This is interesting. The most interesting line in the Gemara. We just paskin that if someone who's chayav karet got malkut, he's patur. And we paskin like him. We said, you know what? It's a good shita. We paskin like him that someone who is chayav karet, he got malkut, patur. Rabbi Yosef says, man salik le'ela ve'ata. Did you go up to Shamayim and come down? How do you know that someone who's chayav karet and he gets malkut,
He gets removed.
the malkaret is removed? You know what's going on
In the
heaven?
Mm-hmm.
Or did someone else, go up and ask them, came down and told them? I think it's a good question, right? Because how do we know? How do we know that this is true? Someone who has karet and then he gets malkut, patur. Amar le Abaye, Ela had Amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. The Rabbi says, why not? We find another precedence. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi said like this: Shlosh devarim asu bedin shel mato. 3 things bedin on earth did, veiskimu bedin shel malo. And the heavenly court agreed with them. Number 1.
What's the first word on the line?
Mata.
Mata. Uh-huh.
So now it says we're going to see later on which 3 things Bedin did on earth, and the heavenly court agreed. There's 3 things. But again, how do we know that the heavenly court agreed with what we did down here?
Because didn't he say if the river goes the other way? No, that's not. It's not this one.
Rabbi Eliezer in Bab Metzia, but that's not one of the cases.
Uh-huh.
But over there, he did invoke Shamayim, but the Chachamim answered him, Lo b'Shamayim. Don't bring proofs from Shamayim.
Exactly. So why are we here?
But over here, we're talking about 3 different. We're going to see which cases it is. Mm-hmm. But we're going to say, Man salik le'ela v'ata v'amar. In these cases, 3 cases also, who went up and he came down and told us that the heavenly court is agreeing with us? Ela krai kadarshina nachanami krai kadarshina. But rather, it's going to be proven from Psukim. It's not that we are guessing or we know what's going on in Shamayim. But we see it in Psukim. We see in the verses, and we're going to say later which verse. So we know from Psukim this truth.
Okay, so why do we need Shamayim?
Okay, it's a good question.
Yeah.
Let's first see which cases it is, and then we're gonna analyze which one. Gufa, Amar Rabbi Yeshua. By 5 minutes, we're gonna finish it off soon. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi said, and we're gonna really analyze this next time. Shlosha devarim asu bedin shel mata. 3 things the earthly court did. V'yiskimu bedin shel mala, and the heavenly court agreed with them. Elohein, these are them. Mikra Megillah, the reading of Megillah on Purim. We do it every year. This is a good case. It's not from the Torah. Mordechai and Esther obligated all Jews to read Megillah on Purim, and all Jews are doing it till now. And we're saying Hashem agreed with this. Hashem agreed with them. Important statement. Hashem agreed. We'll see later.
Hanukkah maybe is the second one.
Interesting. Okay, we're going to delve into this next time. Why Hanukkah is not one of these 3?
Because there's no reading on Hanukkah, right? There's no like book of Matisyahu or what, right? Like
right, there's no reading, but there is lighting candles. So we'll see. V'sheilat shalom b'shem, and also saying shalom aleichem with Hashem's name. V'havad maaser, and also giving maaser to Kohanim. We know that originally Maaser was given to Levim. But when Ezra brought the Jews from the Babylonian exile, Second Temple, Levim didn't come. Not too many Levim came. So he fined them. He disapproved. He said, no, Maaser is going to be given to Levim. It's going to be given to Kohanim now.
He had a right to do that?
Oh, so that's the question. Right now we're saying it was
approved.
Supposedly. Okay. So Gemara later on is going to say what exactly was, how do we know each one of them, what it means, and how do we know that it was approved? We're going to see it next time.